dyslexic transvestite walked into a bra. Never underestimate the importance of good entrance music. It was either that or Mysterious Girl. So my name's Abi Myles, the world's premier female meatloaf impersonator. They've asked me to sing a few songs tonight. But I won't do that. So I grew up in the 1980s with the strong male role models of the day. Prince, Freddie Mercury, Jimmy Krankie. My father was a pantomime dame. Oh yes, he was. And my mother was a seamstress. She used to try dresses on me because she couldn't afford to buy a dummy. Luckily, I escaped unscathed with no lasting psychological effects. So the more observant amongst you might be thinking, Susan Boyle really let herself go. So I'd like to address the obvious question on your minds. No, this is not my natural hair colour. So I am in fact transgender. I know, I hide it well. And I'm so glad the family in the corner left, otherwise there'd have been some awkward questions about time. I'm the only person I know who threw their own gender reveal party. So I've been diagnosed with something called gender dysphoria. For those of you who don't know what that means, basically it means I'm not comfortable in my own foreskin. So coming out to my parents was quite a challenge. My father was in hospital following a massive heart attack, and understandably my mum was very worried. So I thought, I know I'll take her mind off it. So I sat her down, I explained everything, and her words have stuck with me. She said, I really don't understand, but I support you. Maybe now isn't a good time to tell your dad, though. So my mum's always coming out with daft things. I went to see my parents recently. She's wearing a beautiful green dress. And my mum said to me, I'm trying to think who you remind me of from the telly. I said, oh, who's that then? She said, well, yesterday I was watching Shrek. Yeah, my own mum thinks I look like Princess Bloody Fiona. Last time I got a Mac makeover. I have learnt a lot about hair and makeup recently, though. One day I might put some of it into practice. Don't hold your breath. It takes hours to look this mediocre. I've got myself a nail tech recently, though. That's cool. She does my nails every couple of weeks. And recently I went to see her, and she said, oh, your nails have grown quite a bit. We need to have a talk. Calm down, love, you're a nail tech. She said, you really need to remember, those aren't sex fingers anymore. You're going to hurt someone. She's got a higher opinion of my chances than I do right now. So, oh, that was silly. I forgot something. So being of a certain age is quite a challenge. Like most of my friends, I'm on HRT. They're all going through menopause. I'm going through puberty. So good, I did it twice. I've had a lot of unwelcome side effects since I've started on the HRT, though. Recently, I've discovered I've completely lost the ability to, parallel park. I no longer understand the offside rule. And I frequently come close to peeing myself. That's mainly because I don't know what toilet I'm allowed to use anymore. It's not all bad, though. I do tick a lot more diversity boxes, so I get a lot more gigs. That's nice. I make a banging gravy. And I always get a seat on the bus. That's mostly because I look pregnant, though. But it's not all fun and games. I can go from horny teenager to evil hell bitch in the time it takes to eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. Yes, I've had a few of them in my time. This is the body Ozempic forgot. I am on the large side, but I do identify as skinny. I'm what they call trans-slender. But I've recently been diagnosed with a bad combination of illnesses. I have bulimia and amnesia. I binge eat, I forget to vomit. Not good. But the doctor has always been worried about me and my size and my body fat particularly. And recently, apparently, it's got a lot worse. It's all trans fat now, so that's bad, apparently. So, yes, where am I? And, if you can believe such a thing now, I have a lot of problems dating. Most of my friends are straight women. So we go to a lot of regular pubs and clubs. That and the fact I don't go to gay bars because I hate ABBA and Steps. It's the first time in a couple of weeks I haven't had any hate for that statement. That's nice. But I was telling a friend about my predicament lately, and she said, look, just bite the bullet. Start going for guys. Where there's a will, there's a way. I said, yeah, in my case, where there's a willy, there's no fucking way. Again, glad that family left. But my social life has improved to no end. Recently, the girls from work invited me to bottomless brunch at Coyote Ugly. No one told me bottomless meant drinks, not dress code. Yeah, that's the last time they asked me to dance on the bar. Certainly put the cock in cocktail that night. Yeah. But I've always had trouble with relationships. I've had a lot of problematic exes. One of them, she was a bit crazy. She kept getting obsessed with weird things. And this one time she was obsessed with dungarees. She wanted a pair of dungarees. I said, look, 2 types of people can wear dungarees. Decorators and pregnant women. And lesbians, obviously, but I'm not brave enough to tell them otherwise. But I said, you're neither, no dungarees. About 3 months later, I came back from work. She met me at the door, big hug, so happy. She said, I can finally get those dungarees. It was the best day of my life. I was so happy, so excited. My kitchen was finally getting painted. Yeah, it was the other reason. Sadly, she lost it, though, and, it was a hard time. On the bright side, no dungarees, though, so not all bad. And then my most recent ex and I, we had a massive argument before we split. She said, your problem is that you make everything about you. So last year I wrote and published my life story, and this year I took up stand-up comedy, so that showed here, didn't it? So I've always been a big music fan, big fan of rock music. Any rock fans in tonight? Hey. Specifically, any Metallica fans in tonight? Hey. Are you going to see them in Cardiff next year? Yeah, I wouldn't. I saw them when they were still good. About 30 years ago. But apparently I did hear recently that James Hetfield is retiring out after this tour. Have you heard that? Yeah, he's opening his own business, a little bed shop called Nothing Else Mattress. Yeah, so it was tough growing up in the 80s as a rock fan. We didn't get any of the good bands here. We got all the really dodgy tribute acts and stuff. We had Talbot Green Day. That wasn't so much American Idiot as Pontypridd said. And then we had Mirthahead and their classic, Ace of Blades. And from deepest, darkest Newport, we had Limp Bizkit. Yeah, keep rolling. Yeah, how Newport is that? Yeah. Strangely, though, the Iron Maiden tribute band didn't take off too well. Calling a band Iron Lady in Wales, bad move. Problem was at their gigs, every time a pit opened up, they closed it down. It's great being able to stand in front of people and do comedy. I've always been a big fan of comedy. Ironically, it's only now I've had the balls to do it. So, as I said earlier, last year I wrote and published my life story, Abnormal, available from all good bookshops and Amazon. Please buy it. I'll get about 40p. I did actually do a book signing at Waterstones recently, though. Yeah, I wrote I Hate You on 9 3/4 Harry Potter books. Banned for life. Thank you, everyone. I've been Abi Myles. Good night.